you know?
Yeah, I mean, really, I didn't even really know. I knew that her and Pac were friends, but she never really came out and said that they had a relationship. So now we're going back and looking at all the pictures and like, what was going on with that? You
I
know,
wouldn't turn down Tupac either, Jada. Get your money, honey.
I know. Well, they were friends in high school, though. Weren't they friends in high school?
He has letters to Jada.
Oh, yeah.
And like he's got that Tupac book, and I think some of her letters and stuff that they wrote each other were in there. They've known each other for a long time.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, I guess that's what they want to do, and that's their business. But hey, listen, they're still back together. They got their stuff together. It's just what I think is everybody was, having memes and everything like that, and saying that Will looked tired and stuff. The funniest one that I saw was that men, they want polyamorous relationships. They want to be able to do whatever they want, but then the second that they're a woman,
Yeah.
same thing.
And she said, that she just wanted to feel alive again. She didn't feel like, her womanly self. And I'm all about the cougar. I'm an official cougar. I'm over 40, and these young people, they can, I don't mind having
Hey, if we're gonna keep it real, let's keep it real.
I mean, I'm not gonna, these old guys are grouchy, not all of them, I'm not saying, but then when you get a younger one, it's like, sometimes it's kind of like, I don't know, but if it was August, I would have definitely did what Jada did. I would have had an entanglement.
All right, moving right along. Cannabis. How are things going in the cannabis industry, Amy?
Oh, so everything is slow like everything else with the pandemic and everything, and I have been paying attention to women in cannabis. So one of the things that I know you're going to be involved with is Queens of Cannabis. And I was doing some research, and women are like one of the lowest percentages who have ownership in it, right? And there's more women that are like executives, and we're running the shit, but we're not owning it, And so I feel like cannabis is such a stigma with women. Like as women, like I smoke weed. I smoke weed. I don't hide it. But there's probably other people, that I've heard, celebrities, for instance, Missy Elliott. She can't do a cannabis brand, or she's too scared to even do a CBD brand because there's still so many companies that are unsure about it,
Right.
So I'm ready for it to be legal in Atlanta.
I know, that's right.
Now with this pandemic, I don't know how much longer it's going to be, but that's why I moved to the city of Atlanta. So I'm within the city because it's not, it's a ticket. You get a ticket for an ounce or less.
Okay, so you are back in Atlanta then.
I am back in Atlanta. I came back, I spent the last 2 years in Cali trying to learn the cannabis industry. I did two short sticks launch with White Angel Farms and got to be part of that historical moment and book him, and do his whole press run for his cannabis strand. But there's a lot of things that Atlanta needs to know that they don't know, right? So for instance, 4.3% of the cannabis industry is owned by African Americans. 4.3%. 81% is owned by Caucasians. But the thing I want everybody to understand, not everybody moved to California like I did. I spent 2 years in California and got to learn seed to sell, go to an actual farm, learn how to do their distribution and everything. But there's more ways to make money with cannabis than just touching the flower or having the $1 million to start a farm. They need printing machines. They need conferences like what we're going to do, teach people, that it's in Atlanta. They don't understand. They think they're just smoking a blunt, but really you're really smoking it probably for anxiety, depression, all of that stuff, but we need to change that thought process in Atlanta.
Right.
So that it's
as far as CBD goes, how has CBD helped you with your own sicknesses?
CBD is cool.
Okay.
It helps. You know, I have the highest pain disease in the world,
What do you
and
have?
I have complex regional pain syndrome.
Okay.
I was bit by a brown recluse spider in my arm that caused a staph infection that caused a nerve condition that debilitated me. So I went to California to learn a holistic way. I found a holistic doctor. So not only just cannabis, but with my disease, because it's so painful, because your nerves, it's like a deep bone ache. It's horrible.
Mm-hmm.
The CBD, or they were giving me 120 pain pills a month to take. And I was like, there's no way I'm taking this for the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to try the different CBD is wonderful. But the thing about CBD that I learned is you have to keep it in your body, just like for THC to work, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you got cannabis, THC works totally different. And then CBD is totally different. There's different spectrums of CBD. Like it's a lot, but it helps a lot. And I don't take any pain pills now.
That's amazing. I'm really, really proud of you for that. And you've been feeling a
Yeah.
lot better?
I've been feeling a lot better. Just, you know, it's a lot to it. I met a lady in California who actually went into remission, and she said that 80% of her remission of getting out of this disease was mental.
Mm.
So
Mm.
that's one of the biggest reasons I came home from California. I had learned everything, but I needed to be around family. I needed to be around my grandson, you know, because your mental is a lot to do with autoimmunes and disabilities and stuff like that. It's a big deal.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for sharing. Appreciate it. So, cannabis business booming for women. Time to get into it. If you want to holler or become partners, holler at Amy. And
Yep.
the last thing, moving back to Atlanta, how do you feel about what's going on in Atlanta right now with like COVID and the police brutality and the race riots and I don't really want to say race riot because it's not the right word. Police
It's
brutality.
not it's not a race riot.
Yeah, that's true.
Jose Guapo is one of my clients, my industry sons, and I can't even think of what's his name. Rashid.
Okay.
Rashard, I'm sorry, I can't even
Rashard.
think. Sorry, Rashard Brooks was killed in Jose Guapo's neighborhood.
Right.
It's Zone 3.
Yeah.
So I called him the day after it happened. I'm like, man, that's your city, like that's your neighborhood, and we should lead a protest, like a candlelight visual 7 days from when it happened.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a Saturday, and I was going down there to the Wendy's by myself first with my daughters to check out the scenery, get ready to do the, you know, protest, talk to the organizers and everything. They pulled guns on me. They told me to get out
Who
now.
pulled guns on
My
you?
kids were in the car. Both my daughters were in the car.
Who
And
pulled guns
so
on you?
the guys that were blocking
Oh, wow.
Wendy's, they said no white people were allowed.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Okay.
So the media made it like these guys came with guns and were doing all this crazy stuff. Well, I didn't get upset and I didn't get scared. I left. I called Guapo. I'm like, they ain't gonna let me in without you.
Right.
I'm like, they pull guns on me. He's like, okay, come get me. And the reason they're pulling guns like that is because the police didn't do anything the night before when the KKK came and actually started shooting into the crowd.
Right. Right.
So I went to the president of the city council of Atlanta because she said she had been down there 6 times.
And who's the
Well,
president?
if you've been down there 6 times, you'd be talking about the fact that the night before, the reason they're protecting their community is because the night before, when the man shot into the crowd, the police didn't do anything.
Right. Right. And who's the president of the city council?
Felicia Moore.
Okay. Okay.
And so when she started posting stuff, I started tagging like, Felicia, that's not, you need to be more specific. They're not just coming down there to be gangsters and criminals, and they're really protecting it because the police aren't. And that needs to be talked about. So now the AGJC is talking about it. I think he should have shut down the city right now. Honestly, I think Governor Kemp is a Trump, you know, I hate to say it, bitch. I mean, that's just what he is. Like, but, you know, and I'm mad at him because I'm not sending my child back to school. I know you aren't. You registered yours for online as well.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't see kids going back to school. I think we should shut down like the other, what was the country? I forgot that did it and successfully did it and they've had no cases. I can't remember. Was it Switzerland, Finland?
Yeah, it was
Netherlands?
I don't know. One of them places over there.
Yeah, but I'm not for sure. But anyway, they were the first ones who did it effectively. And I feel like, I don't know if the disease is real or not, right? People are saying they're dying, but were you with your people that died in the hospital to really confirm what the hospital is complaining?
Yeah, they won't even let you in there to really know exactly what's going on. So I do believe that it's real. I do. That's just me though. It's pretty scary, you know? I mean, I haven't been in any of these clubs without a mask on. I just don't, even if, regardless of whether that it's real or not, it's just not worth the risk. That's why I have a little black N95 mask with the little filter on it so I can breathe and still.
I haven't went to the club, so.
Well, I only was in the DJ booth.
Yeah. And when I did the protest, it was, you know, everybody was so far from each other, and it just, you know, I was in my car most of the time. I drove because I can't really walk like that. But yeah, like, it's not that I don't believe it, it's that I feel like we're not talking about how to build our immune systems, right? And that's really what my spiritual calling and stuff came to in California, was learning how to build my immune system. And I've been on planes, trains, and automobiles since January without a mask, when everybody was getting sick, when I didn't get, and I should have been sick over anybody. But I know how to build my immune system. I know how to, you know, I haven't had the flu since I was a kid. Like, have you?
Yeah, I have, you know, and then I will say this, is that my son, he used to get the flu a lot. And, you know, everybody is saying bad things. And I never agreed with flu shots, annual flu shots or anything like that either.
Oh, hell no.
But no, once I got a flu shot from my son, he hasn't been sick since.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, that was in November, so he hasn't been sick at all. And normally around his birthday or anything like that, he would always get sick or get the flu. And that's what happened. He got really, really sick the year before. We went to Legoland on his birthday, and he got influenza, and we were really worried.
We were with you in Legoland.
Yeah. Do you know he got the flu? Really? Do you remember that? Yeah.
No.
Yeah, he got the flu really, really bad. We had to get Tamiflu and everything. It was really scary.
Oh, wow.
And, you know, children, they can become debilitated from the flu and become paralyzed and all kinds of crazy things. So for me, I didn't feel like like a responsible parent if I didn't. And now I'm just really, really glad that I did. I'm not saying that every flu shot is legit. And, you know, of course there's things to question about and everything, but don't just like write off vaccines. You know what I'm saying? Because they do work. You know?
I'm not going to let my daughter get the COVID vaccine.
One. Yeah,
I don't believe, you know, I feel like I've been sick for 5 years. I've seen it all, right? And in 5 years, you know, going to California and learning how to holistically heal myself changed my life. Not eating dairy, not eating meat. I'm vegan. You know, I'm not saying I won't eat a piece of chicken, because I will every now and then, but I try to only eat vegetables and fruits and really just keep my body and my immune system built. I don't think a vaccine is the answer. But
well,
that's my
I got you. But I'm just saying that my opinion, well, mine is more than an opinion. The thing about vaccines is that, of course, preventative is definitely the first thing to do. But some things, like the only way that we were able to like beat them and move on with society without children becoming horribly scarred for the rest of their lives and dying from smallpox, was vaccines. And that's the thing too, is that I had to take like advanced microbiology classes and stuff like that when I was going to go to school to be a doctor. So it's like I really understand like the science behind it and like why it works, you know. And that is medically speaking only, that is the only line of defense that we have against viruses, because they cannot be cured. You know, you can only fight.
And I agree with that, but it's like,
but that's what the vaccine does, is it builds your immunity.
They told me, my doctor who did a radio show, Dr. Sebi, okay, he told me that he felt like my sickness, when I got bit by that spider and it put the venom in my body, it awakened a vaccine that was in my body that was sitting dormant.
That could
And that's
possibly
what
happen too.
caused me to get so sick. You know,
Mhm.
like I couldn't even walk last year. Like I was in a wheelchair.
Yeah, that could possibly happen. And like these kids, for example, my kid never had to get the chicken pox because he had a chicken pox vaccine. You know?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it can wear off, and if they get it when they're adults, they're more likely to die. And
Yeah,
that's what
that's
I've
true.
heard about that vaccine is, because if you don't, it's better to go ahead and let them get the chicken pox and get it over with when they're young than to wait until they're adults where it'll like kill them.
Yeah, I mean that's if it wears off, because having shingles as an adult is not fun either. You know what I mean? So it's
I
just
wouldn't
better
want it. Yeah,
not fun at
that's
all.
scary. My
It is.
friend has it in
Yeah.
in South Carolina, and she was just miserable all the time. I couldn't imagine.
Oh yeah, it's pretty miserable. So thank you for coming through, Amy. I really, really appreciate
Well,
it.
I love you, my
I
Rude
love you
Girl Radio.
too.
You know,
Yes, official
I,
PR for Rugo Radio. She's the one around here that makes a lot of this stuff happen, PR wise.
I love
I
her.
love you, Amy. And make sure that you follow her. Tell everybody what your Instagram is again.
At Queen of Public Relations.
So make sure that you holler at Amy Hanks.
Thanks, Fruits Queen.